So you can't just Google yourself to figure out how well you're doing on Google Maps. So what should you do? I recently got a call from a client and he was saying something like, "Hey, I Googled myself for this keyword and I'm not showing up. Like, what's going on?" So, of course, this is not the type of call that you want to get as an agency owner. But I dove into the account to see, what was going on. And as I went through the numbers, I was actually happily surprised and relieved to see that his numbers had actually gone up quite substantially, even though he had only been a client for a little bit over 4 weeks. So in this video, I want to go over the different ways, good, better, best, that you can actually tell if your Google Maps is helping or hurting your business. So we'll start with good, which is to use a free tool that will give you an anonymous Google search result from a specific location. So the tool that I like to use is Bright Local, their local search results checker. Now, the reason why you can't just do this yourself, just Google from Chrome or your smartphone, is for two reasons. Number one is personalization. So Google knows that you've interacted with your website before, you've interacted with your Google business profile, and because of that, they're going to give you different results that a random person who didn't know your business would get. And the second thing is you want to check your rankings from different parts of the town. So if you're searching from your desktop, if you're searching from your smartphone, you're only going to see the results from directly where you're located. And so a tool like Bright Local's local search result checker solves both of these problems. All you do is enter your search term, so AC repair company, and then you enter in a location. So 90210 in this case, and you can just click search results. And what will happen is you can actually see what the results look like, who shows up on Google Guaranteed, pay-per-click, and then voila, the thing that we're really looking for is who is showing up in Google Maps. So this is definitely going to be better than just checking on your own, but there is a way to get a more complete picture, which brings us to better. And better is by using a tool to find your map rankings throughout a specific geographic area. You probably know these as GeoGrids. So the two most popular tools out there is Local Falcon and Local Dominator. So what's great about this is, you'll get a GeoGrid report showing all throughout, like your rankings throughout a specific service area. If you go to Local Falcon, you can click try it for free and it'll basically walk you through registering, and you'll have a bunch of credits that you can use to check your rankings. And to use the tool is as simple as going to Quick Scan. You can enter in a location, any location that you want, enter in the keywords. They'll even recommend a few. And then finally, you pick the radius. So do you want to search a 5-mile radius, a 7-mile radius, a 10, a 20-mile radius? Click run the report, and in a few moments, you'll find out exactly where you rank. Now, there are, however, two problems with these GeoGrid reports. So number one is they're not going to be 100% accurate. Based off of all the data that I've seen, I would say these things are about 80% accurate. It's better than nothing, but it's not foolproof. The second thing is, the second limitation with these tools is that they're not going to show you how many people are actually searching the keywords. So just because you show up for one keyword doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually a valuable keyword that people are actually searching. And so to find out this data, you really want to look at your Google Maps performance. And this is like the best way to do it. So the best way is through Google Insights. In order to find Google Insights, all you simply need to do is Google your brand name plus your town. So if you're logged in to the right Google account, and the Google account will be right over here, you'll be able to see that you're logged in correctly. If you're logged into the right Google account, you're going to see this dashboard appear. And so I blurred this out, obviously, for confidentiality. But what you want to do is once you see this dashboard, you want to click Performance. Now, after you click Performance, what you're basically going to see here is a bunch of data a lot of data points, and it's essentially a funnel. That's what you're really looking at. Now, the thing that I like to spend my most time on is by going to the bottom right and looking at searches that showed your business profile in the search results. What's really cool is that you can pick a specific time period. So you can specifically say, like, I want to check out the results from this month and compare it versus the same month last year. What will happen is you're going to see the number of searches you showed up for. And then more importantly, you're going to see all of the different keywords that you showed up for. So it happens all the time where I'm speaking with a business owner and they swear that they're crushing it on Google Maps. We take a look at Google Insights, and what we find out is that, yes, they're getting a lot of calls. Yes, they're showing up for a lot of searches, but guess what? 95% of the searches are actually for their brand name. And when you actually look for the keywords themselves, they're hardly showing up at all. So this is one of those cases where, an SEO company can kind of get more credit than they deserve, or you think you're already doing well in maps, but you're not. And you can just look at the data and figure this out. So in the case of this upset client, I was able to find out on the GeoGrid report that they started, with absolutely nothing. And then a couple of weeks later, 4 weeks later, they were already in the number 5 position, for their main target keyword. And then to, dive in a little bit deeper, we had found that when they started with us, they were getting just 34 searches. So they were really starting from scratch. The only 34 was actually for their brand name. And then a couple of weeks later, that had bumped up to already 171 searches, which is pretty cool. And we're just getting started here, but this is how you can really tell, if your Google Map is performing well. So check the numbers for yourself. Either go to the GeoGrid report, see how well you're doing, log into Google Insights, check how many searches you're showing up for. And if you'd like some help improving your numbers, with PM Now, click the link in the description and you can get a hold of us to schedule a call. See you next time.